Now, to delve deeper on the development of relationship between Indonesia and Russia, we now have the ambassador of Russia to Indonesia, His Excellency Sergei Gennadievich Tolchenov. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Indonesia.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be back here.
So, Your Excellency, as we heard before, there's actually a development in the Indonesia's role in global stage as we are actually expressing the intention on joining BRICS. Now, from your point of view as well as a diplomat, what are Russia's expectations of Prabowo's presidency when Indonesia announced its membership accession plan in BRICS Plus?
Well, so we never lecture anyone and never give any suggestion to foreign governments how to operate, how to act. What we expect from new or president of Indonesia, it's just to continue what his predecessor did already, to continue this active and independent foreign policy, and we really believe so. Indonesia is an important player in the international arena, and from the very beginning, even last year, we told quite many times that we believed that Indonesia is a potential member of BRICS, and we are already really glad that when His Excellency Prabowo Subianto became president, he very quickly took official decision to join BRICS, and now the process is going in both ways, because Indonesia officially said that it would like to be the full-fledged member of BRICS. We also invite, 10 member states of BRICS invite Indonesia to become a partner states. Indonesia also agreed, so now we are doing this in both ways.
Mr. Ambassador, what is it that motivated BRICS to expand its alliance toward Global South countries aside from economic interest?
Well, I believe so. First of all, so it's not we are looking only to Global South, but also to Global East and to other partners, because within BRICS, even when it comes to Russia, we are not Global South, we are Global North, Global East, everything, and it's the only Eurasian countries, mostly aligned in Europe and mostly in Asia. So it's just, I believe, so it's a group of countries that are following independent policies that have a important position in global economy and politics, and that would like not to hear anybody else, but doing what they want. And we really believe that Indonesia should and will be on board of this group. So, like quite many other countries, because even from this region, it's not only Indonesia who would like to be and have a good ties with the BRICS, but also your neighbors like Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, and some others. So I really believe so. And this moment when it's very difficult to have any cooperation with Global West, or what we call sometimes global minority, global majority can do something on their own, and this is what the BRICS about.
Yes, and you were saying as well, not only Indonesia and Southeast Asia that express the intention on joining BRICS, our neighbors like Thailand and Vietnam as well also want to join BRICS. But in this case as well, given Indonesia's interest in joining, how does Russia view Indonesia's role and contribution within the alliance, especially when addressing various strategic issues?
Well, Indonesia, it's important from quite many point of view, I believe. So I already mentioned about your active foreign policy, and we are looking for Indonesian input in quite many issues, starting from how to modernize and make more democratic world order, how to reactivate international trade relations, and also it's important player regarding military sphere and other the fifth country regarding population. It's also very important. You have a very huge natural resource, labor force. So it's and you've got very dynamic economic development. So we really believe so and hope Indonesia will be one of the global players regarding economic issues. So it's you can participate in quite many issues, I believe. So.
Well, we're happy to as regarding that as well, because considering that we have the target of 8% of economic growth for this administration as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And we totally understand that Indonesia is not at all new to you. You've been here since 2008, and then until 2013, right? And then you go back to you went back
for
to
5 years. Yeah.
For 5 years.
5 years. That's a long time. So we want to know how does Russia perceive its relationship with our country, Indonesia, especially right now amid the ongoing geopolitical tensions between major powers?
Well, so we still believe that Indonesia for us is a very important partner, and we will celebrate next year 75th anniversary of our bilateral relations, and I'm proud to say that almost during all these 7 decades we have a very good and friendly relations with Indonesia. Of course, some people, especially those who are focusing on the history, they're telling about what they call sometimes golden decade. It was end of 1950s and beginning of 1950s and beginning of 1960s under your first president, Mr. Sukarno, who visited the former Soviet Union several times, good relations, and so on, so on. And especially when we are talking about, you have mentioned about this Aruda maritime exercise, but that time our ties, especially regarding the Navy, was excellent. And I remember that we've delivered to Indonesia many ships and submarines, and one of these submarines is still in Surabaya, but on shore as a museum and monument. So when I was in Surabaya 2 months ago, I visited this place, and so it's still like also a kind of landmark of our history of our bilateral relations. So that's why this friendship, it's a very good basis of our future contacts in different fields, not only regarding the politics, but also I hope so for economy and bilateral trade, and also regarding cultural and educational exchanges. So what is in my memory since my first mission here in Indonesia, that Indonesians are always very friendly, and when I'm saying that I'm ambassador of Russia, that I'm Russian, I'm citizen of Russia, it's always very good mood and reply for me. So I hope so it really will contribute to our bilateral relations, and we will be glad to see more Indonesians in Russia for study in Russian universities, for doing business, or just like a tourist. So because, I'm also, I didn't manage to visit many regions in your country, which is also very big and very different and very populated, but my country is also huge. So if your compatriots would like to have a look at on their own eyes in my country, so they are also very welcome. And hopefully now we have a direct flights, not from Jakarta, but from Denpasar to Moscow. So it's maybe will be make the way shorter to my country, and we will be glad to see many Indonesian people in Russia, because also it's also very important. In my country there is a kind of expression. It's better to see by your own eyes once than to hear 100 times about my country.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
So please, and I also really, I have heard from those who visited my country that it's changed their understanding and their opinion about Russia, well, completely. So this is maybe the best way.
But
Well,
one question, can
yeah, yeah.
Indonesians,
Yes, please.
can Indonesians stand the extreme cold in
I
Russia?
was about to ask that because we are from tropical country,
Yes.
Mr. Ambassador. Is there any tips on how we could survive the cold?
Well, so we use warm clothes, of
course.
but maybe also the friendship of Russian citizens, our warm welcome will help you a little bit. But of course, maybe for people from tropical countries, better to come to Russia somewhere in springtime or summer, beginning of autumn. So it's better. But even here in this region, I found a lot of people who like Russian winter because, well, to see snow,
That's right.
maybe to ski, to skate, and
Yes, yes.
It's another impression.
So what's the temperature like at this kind of time, usually in Russia? Let's say in Moscow.
Well, in December it's not that cold, I believe. So it's maybe -5, 10 only. But January or February it could be -20.
Oh my God.
But it's not for the quite a long time. It's maybe 1 week, 2 weeks. But normally it's not that cold that it was before. But well, maybe it's a result of this. Changes in the climate.
In the climate, yeah, that's right.
Even the Russian winters became a little bit warmer. So it's
A little bit warmer from -20. But I mean, as a traveler, I would actually agree with that statement. It's better to see once with your own eyes than hearing like 1,000 or 100 times from other people. But also, when it comes to things like people-to-people relations and also business-wise as well, how does Russia plan to facilitate the involvement of its private sector in these initiatives that we saw and also we will see?
Well, I believe that what I called Team Russia here in Jakarta, it's a Russian team because it's not only my embassy. We also have got our trade representative office. We've got what we call Russian House or a Russian Center for Culture and Science. We've got representative from many ministries and companies. And we are trying to facilitate. We introduce Indonesian market, Indonesian companies to Russian delegations, to Russian business circles who are coming to Jakarta. And I can assure you that these months, these days, we've got a lot of people who would like to have deal with Indonesia, have contacts, have doing business with Indonesia. And not only small and medium enterprises, but even Russian big players. So, but you know, for several reasons, I already tried to explain to some Indonesian media who asked me, can you tell us some news, some good news about, well, so taking, as you mentioned, the current global situation, we are trying not to indicate possible areas of our bilateral cooperation with friendly countries because just not create problems to our friends. Because otherwise, next day, someone from other side of the globe will shout it, we will imply secondary sanctions on Indonesian companies who are dealing with Russia and so on and so on. So it's not good, but it's unfortunately reality of our days. That's why we introduce and we try to matching Russian and Indonesian companies, let them doing job quietly, peacefully, and finally, I hope so, we will have positive results. Like, for example, what I have already mentioned, we met a lot of obstacles and barriers, but finally we managed to open this direct flight from Moscow to Denpasar. So I hope so. Maybe next year we will tell about already some positive results, but when we already get the results, not previously.
Okay, now let's focus more on our future of this bilateral relationship, because we are hoping that this cooperation would continue to grow over time, right? Now my question is, what are the key strengths or advantages that Indonesia could leverage in this trade relationship?
Well, I believe so. We can add to each other regarding our resources because it's different. We have quite a lot of resources like oil and gas, and I find out that Indonesia need it. We got modern technologies because, and even that's why even our major state companies like company, it's called company for atomic energy, Rosatom, and company for space exploration, Roscosmos, are very active here, and they are ready to provide Indonesia with very modern technologies regarding to contribute to Indonesian energy independence and security, and to provide some modern technologies for space explorations. And some other companies are also very active, especially, for example, in digital sphere. So, and from the very beginning, yeah, I came here in June, and if I'm not mistaken, in June and July there was a major problem here in Indonesia with hacker attacks and so and losing some data and so on and so on. Russian companies are very active in this information security, cyber security, and they are ready to work here. And so it's really quite many different possibilities, I believe.
And certainly, we are hoping that this bilateral relationship will actually more flourish in the future with a lot of hopes lying ahead of us. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for being here. And also, once again, welcome back to Indonesia.
Thank you.
And
thank you very much. I really will enjoy my stay here.
And looking forward for you to come back to our studio some other time.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once again. All right, and with that, we are ready for our next break.
And after the break, I will deliver some economics and business updates only for you. So stay here only on the 3 Hour News Show on CTV.